vlog. So today we are working on continuing a lot of the upgrades in the trailer that I've been doing so I can boondock way more comfortably, because if you guys didn't realize already or haven't watched my other videos, I am back to pretty much boondocking full time, which I cannot be more excited about because especially around this time of the year, people get a little crazy and I am just okay with being like out in the desert, out in the wilderness, just chilling, watching TV, doing my little puzzles and like relaxing instead of running around in the busyness of everything. Because I went to town the other day, if you guys didn't watch that vlog, to run errands and stuff, and like people are just everywhere. I mean, I get it, like Christmas is coming up here in the next couple weeks, but like dang, everyone's on another level this year. So anyways, so today we're working on more upgrades, like project stuff that I have been doing in the trailer. The first one that I did that you guys have already seen was the composting toilet. So I now have a composting toilet, so it's so much easier for me to save tank space. And so the next thing that is on the list was upgrading my battery situation that I have going on here. This is not a cheap trailer by any means, but when I say no matter how expensive you go with any of these trailer companies, pretty much you're going to get like bottom of the barrel stuff. So stock, this trailer came pre-wired for solar and it came with an 88 amp hour just regular marine RV battery. It's just a regular lead acid battery. It's not even like AGM gel or anything like that. House batteries, always, forever, from like the beginning of time with RVs, is what runs all your 12 volt stuff pretty much, like in your lights and everything, in your heater usually. So then when you're boondocking overnight, it was more designed to like stay overnight at like, you know, a state park without hookups or like a Walmart or something like that. And so they don't really like last a super long time. So 88 amp hours is like decent, but it's just really not enough to like run my fridge all night and the heater at the same time. Like I consistently wake up to a dead battery, which for a lead acid battery is like a death sentence for those. So I have been waiting for the right time to do this, and this is not sponsored, but I do want to thank Golden Mate Energy for sending me a lithium battery. They didn't sponsor this video, but they did gift it to me, and so I do want to talk about it since that's literally what I'm using. The battery I had, like I said, is lead acid. It's 88 amp hours and it's a little over 50 pounds, and the new battery from Golden Mate is 200 amp hours and it weighs 49 pounds. So I'm basically tripling my battery capacity and it's about the same weight. So that is why, especially in a camper in a towable, you have to consider what your battery weight is going to be if you want to expand your battery bank. Of course, I had to choose between if I wanted to upgrade just to more lead acid batteries. They are technically less expensive, but to have the same capacity, in my mind, it didn't really make any sense because I would have had to have two more of those lead acid batteries that are like run like 150 bucks a pop. And this battery right now on sale, the Golden Mate one, is just over 500. So even if you're starting from scratch, sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like, why would I keep a bunch of batteries that need more maintenance when I could just switch over to lithium, and let alone the weight. So if I wanted to upgrade to more lead acid batteries, I would have almost 150 pounds of battery weight instead of the 50 that I have now. So I know that it's confusing to look at all the solar and everything, and how all of that works, but my main concern, which is for a lot of people, the lithium, it doesn't require as much maintenance and you're getting more battery for less weight. And a lot of the times towing and all of that stuff, like every little pound counts when you're on the road. So that was my biggest factor. So anyways, I'm going to show you kind of what we did here. So this is how the battery was initially actually stored, and it had to be vented because lead acid needs to be vented. So it had its own little encasement, and it had a vent through the side of the camper and through the bottom. Lithium batteries don't need to be vented, so we're taking all of this out. I'm actually giving it to somebody else who needs a battery, so don't worry, this is going to somebody who needs it. And we're gonna switch out my solar pre-wire. This camper is pre-wired for ZAMP, and I obviously use Bluetti products. Install the correct pre-wire and switch when we were switching everything out, so I could just plug the Bluetti straight into the side of the camper, just like how I was doing with the ZAMP, just without an adapter. And then because it is a lithium battery, I need a charge controller that supports lithium, so I upgraded to a Renogy charge controller. I've had a Renogy charge controller in the past. It's actually what I used in my first renovation on my Class C. I just wanted something that if I ever do decide to expand my solar system even more, that I have a charge controller to support that, because these things are not cheap, and it's just something that I would rather buy a little bit bigger of a version and have room to expand, especially if I ever want to put solar on the roof or anything like that, instead of having something too small and then having to rebuy everything. So I know like solar stuff gets so confusing for people, but I'm going to show you exactly how we have everything set up, and the fact that if you are a Soul Horizon or InTech customer, I want to put it out there that I'm not sure if you guys realize, but your fridge is hardwired to the battery and not through the battery shutoff. So even if you think that you've turned everything off with your battery cut off, your fridge is directly connected to your battery. I know that they've done this as like a safety precaution, like if you lose power or something, like your fridge will keep going so you don't lose your food, but it's probably draining your battery without you realizing it, just so you know. So what I did was I got help rewiring the fridge to the battery cutoff. So now when I hit the switch on the wall, I am actually turning off everything, including the fridge, so then it doesn't continue to run off the battery if I'm trying to cut everything off so I can charge it up or jump it or maintenance everything or whatever. It's just a much more safe, I think, thing, and I'm not sure why InTech doesn't do that. So we rewired that. I can't really show you how to do it because I didn't do it. I don't know how that works. I got help with this, obviously. So now you can see I have the solar then plugged in with the Bluetti outside. It works so much better. I can just plug it in and go. Those wires then go up to the charge controller, controlling how much. So if there was a surge, if there's something happening, it's not going to take out my battery. It's going through the charge controller, and it's giving me a lot of data on the battery and how the charging is working. And then from that charge controller, it goes then down to the battery and supplies the power to the battery. Then obviously can run everything when it is on. So it's not a super complicated thing. It's more so choosing what size battery you need. Honestly, if I really wanted to be boondocking for like multiple days and not having to put the solar out, I'd probably need closer to 400 amp hours of battery to comfortably not have to put solar out every single day. Obviously this is a huge upgrade because I ran it last night and everything just to make sure everything was working before I did this video, and I lost way less battery capacity than obviously I was with the other one with running things overnight, like my heater and my fridge. We have like a couple cloudy days coming up in the forecast, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to keep everything charged, which is why I still used the big Bluetti to be able to plug the camper in like it was shore power, so I can turn on my battery converter within the fuse panel, so then I can just charge the battery then straight off of the Bluetti. Look up where these things are in your rig. I promise this gets way less confusing. If you haven't had a rig before, don't get super overwhelmed by this. You can do these upgrades as you go. Obviously, I waited almost an entire year of owning this trailer before I decided to do any of this stuff. So it's just one of those things that it's not a requirement. But if you are wanting to not stay in campgrounds and stuff so much, it is worth the investment. Like the $1,000 to $2,000 worth of like solar and battery that you're going to be purchasing. Yeah, is that a lot? Sure. But at the same time, if you calculate that out, that's less than a month of campground camping. So if you can try to save up over a year, it's going to save you a lot long term if you can stay out on BLM land and stop having to go into campgrounds. Obviously that's a personal choice for everybody, but it's something that I wanted to do. So I hope this helps give some sort of insight to how this works and how easy the swap is, and that you don't need to be intimidated by it, but you do need to think of some things like how you need a different charge controller for lithium and to try to make sure that you have all of that set up. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty easy swap. It took us less than like 2 hours to do all of this stuff. That includes like refitting like the hole in the side of the camper and like filling in the hole underneath and all of that stuff. So the actual battery swap can happen pretty quickly, as long as you have the right charge controller for it. So yeah, so thanks Golden Mate for sending me the new battery. I really appreciate it, and I hope all of you guys go check them out. They have some really great products. A lot of them are on sale right now, so if you have been thinking about upgrading, this might be the best time to do it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!